Kawhi Leonard has been called the worst superstar in sports history, but he has won 2 NBA championships and is one of the best two-way players in the game. But the truth about him as a player in the NBA is about to get darker. According to sports investigative journalist Pablo Torre, the Clippers illegally paid Kawhi $28 million to join them.
The company will pay KL2, which is Kawhi, $28 million in cash during the term of this agreement. Company will pay KL2 $7 million each year of the term.
If the NBA investigates the scandal and finds it to be true, the Clippers and Kawhi are in big trouble. For one, the Clippers will lose Kawhi, and he might lose the $28 million. That's only the beginning. As we dig into the latest on Kawhi and his history in the NBA, one wonders, what is it about him that he's able to get paid without having to actually play? In 2019, the Clippers made 2 trades that shocked the NBA. They surprisingly landed Kawhi Leonard, and he demanded they trade for Paul George. This meant they had to gut their future by sending Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, and a mountain of picks to Oklahoma City. Then, most people weren't even bothered by what the Clippers gave up for Paul George. The real issue was how they got Kawhi in the first place. Well, it turns out that Uncle Dennis Robertson, Kawhi's advisor and actual uncle, reportedly asked for way more than money. We're talking ownership stakes, a private jet, houses, and off-court endorsement guarantees. This was a player who was basically the face of load management, making demands like he was the face of the league. But while other teams rejected it, it turns out the Clippers met those conditions. But this wasn't even new to the Clippers. You see, back in 2015, the Clippers had already been fined $250,000 for trying to entice DeAndre Jordan with an illegal ownership stake. Remember, this was just a year after billionaire Steve Ballmer took over the team. So, when Uncle Dennis's wish list surfaced in 2019, alarms went off again. So the NBA took notice. Commissioner Adam Silver opened an official probe into possible salary cap circumvention. But as doubts peaked, the fun guy played it cool. The NBA's investigation couldn't find any evidence of foul play. And then, Kawhi signed extensions in 2021 and again later, both below max value. On paper, it looked like loyalty, but that's so unlike Kawhi Leonard. I mean, this is a guy that stopped liking Wingstop because they stopped bringing him endorsement deals.
I heard that. What kind of Wingstop you like?
I used to. I don't like Wingstop no more.
You used to since when?
About 2 years ago.
Why?
Not endorsed no more.
So what really happened? It turns out a lot of backroom deals were going on that involved an organization called Aspiration, Uncle Dennis and Steve Ballmer. But before we get to that, we have to start from the Clippers' plan to rebuild and how it might all fall apart. The Clippers had just completed their new Intuit Dome, and later they brought James Harden into the mix. Now, it felt like a dynasty was loading, but then came the cracks. First, how do you make a player as reclusive, disinterested, and non-promotional as Kawhi the face of your team? This fun guy basically said on the Jimmy Kimmel Show that he doesn't talk to people. But this personality is probably the least of the problems because Kawhi had become the poster child for load management. Quad issues in 2017-2018 robbed him of 73 games. An ACL tear in 2021 sidelined him for an entire year. A torn meniscus in 2023 killed the Clippers' playoff hopes. And in 2024-25, he missed 34 games with chronic knee inflammation. For fans, it was crazy to watch millions poured into a superstar who too often watched in street clothes. But then, just as it seemed like that was the worst of it, new revelations hinted at something bigger. Pablo Torre's investigation traced a bankruptcy filing from an eco-startup, Aspiration, back to a corporation in Kawhi's name. A $7 million debt popped up, connected to a no-show endorsement deal. Suddenly, those below-max contracts and team-friendly extensions made sense. Was it really loyalty, or was it hidden sweeteners that made him choose the Clippers over the Lakers? The thing is, if this is true, then it means that Kawhi's story in the NBA won't be just about injuries or indifference. It will also include a system of side deals hiding in plain sight. And this is where Uncle Dennis and Aspiration come in. The organization, Aspiration, was a shiny eco-startup founded by political insiders selling carbon credits and tree planting schemes with Hollywood-level PR. I mean, these people got Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., to do the ads.
What will happen to all we've built? First things first, go see what you're fighting for. Make a commitment to do your part. Give business to companies that have a plan for the planet our children will inherit. And back to that original question, what should we aspire to? Ultimately, zero.
What's more is they also got other celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio, Orlando Bloom, and even Cindy Crawford to join in. Sports teams signed up too, with the Boston Red Sox even bragging about being the first carbon-neutral MLB team, thanks to Aspiration. By 2021, the company was valued at $2.3 billion. And then, the Clippers owner Steve Ballmer poured in $50 million of his personal money and made Aspiration the Intuit Dome's founding partner in a 23-year, $300 million deal. Everything looked brilliant.
So that your choice of being a Clippers fan isn't just a choice of who you root for, but it's an expression of what you believe.
As they say, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Because Pablo Torre discovered that Kawhi Leonard's initials, KL2, and signature appeared in the company's financials and was paid $28 million. Now, just for context, every other celebrity that joined with Aspiration, including Clippers coach Doc Rivers, had at least made a comment to promote the carbon company. But Kawhi, who did absolutely nothing, was getting more than everybody else combined.
The single largest sponsorship deal that Aspiration ever made. It completely eclipsed every other agreement. Completely eclipsed it. So every other celebrity endorsement combined would not have met even a quarter of Kawhi Leonard's endorsement.
So that's including Leonardo DiCaprio and Drake and Robert Downey Jr.
So why was Aspiration paying Kawhi Leonard that much to do nothing? Well, the answer lies in the fact that the only way Kawhi could breach this contract was if he left the Clippers. Of course, that's not an endorsement, that's a stunt, like Kawhi learning Kung Fu in China. Anyways, Aspiration collapsed and went bankrupt. Co-founder Joe Sandberg was arrested in 2025 and pleaded guilty. Bankruptcy filings revealed Aspiration owed $7 million directly to Kawhi's KL2 Aspire LLC. Former employees confirmed Ballmer's $50 million investment had helped fund the payouts. Suddenly, what looked like a green partnership now reeked of cap circumvention. Did Steve Ballmer just get his Harvard buddies to start an organization just so he could use it to sign Kawhi Leonard so as to rebuild the team? Well, the Clippers are denying everything from salary cap circumvention to having any idea Kawhi was even tied to Aspiration. They claim Ballmer was just duped by an eco scam. And since the league had already cleared them once, why reopen the case? Well, firstly, Adam Silver said he would reopen the case if new evidence showed up. And guess what? There's new evidence. Apparently, emails sent back and forth may have exposed the can of worms. It turns out that Ballmer had sent $50 million to Aspiration, which allowed them to quickly pay Kawhi his $28 million.
According to all 7 former Aspiration employees I spoke to, that enormous infusion of money from Steve Ballmer, $50 million, is what allowed the allegedly fraudulent Green Bank to quite eagerly pay Kawhi Leonard $28 million for an alleged no-show job.
That's a direct transfer from Ballmer to Kawhi, and it's illegal under the salary cap laws. So are the Clippers cooked? Well, the punishment for such violations aren't as severe as they once were. Under the NBA's new 2023 collective bargaining agreement, penalties include fines of $4.5 to $7.5 million for circumvention, forfeiture of 1 first-round pick, and up to a $350,000 fine for players. Now, that's nothing compared to what happened in 1999 when the Minnesota Timberwolves secretly promised Joe Smith $86 million under the table. The penalties then included a $3.5 million fine, 5 first-round picks stripped, Smith's contract voided, and executives suspended. But in this case, if the NBA even investigates and finds the Clippers guilty, they probably wouldn't lose Kawhi, and he would still get paid and still not play. However, the Clippers have already been fined in 2015 for an illegal stake offer to DeAndre Jordan. So, if Adam Silver chose to lean on precedent, LA's punishment could look more like Minnesota's nightmare than a minor fine. But at the center of this all is Kawhi Leonard, who just hasn't delivered anything since 2019 with the Raptors. Not only has he not been playing, but he has been at the center of big issues in the NBA. First, he initiated what's probably the worst trade in the history of the league. And now, he's about to be the face of one of the league's biggest salary cap scandals. The truth about Kawhi Leonard as a player seems to be that he can either make or mar a franchise all by himself. On the court, he's a beast, but he just rarely gets on it. He was instrumental for the Raptors' championship win, but right now, he might run the Clippers franchise to the ground. If the league proves cap circumvention, Kawhi could face suspensions, fines, or worse. The Clippers could lose a few draft picks they still control, crippling both their present and their future after 2027. And in the face of his endless load management, it's no wonder many doubt that he cares for the game at all. But his past accomplishments and brilliance continue to speak for him, hence the deals he continues to get. But do you think it all might come crashing down with this scandal? Do you think the Clippers can escape penalties this time? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, then check out The Truth About Nikola Jokic as a Player in the NBA next.